Tonight's movie rated M for mature audiences and will contain other themes and coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised. Anyone remember the Dino Thunder PlayStation 2 game where there's a collectible and you must rescue the Zords in the most cryptic way? No? It was okay. But this here, I think I'd much rather own the game than this.
The fuck is this?
Game over.
When this first got unofficially released in Asian markets, everyone, and I literally mean everyone, got confused why this didn't land in the United States first. I mean, it happened with Wave 5, we got it first, and the Aussies like us maniacally last behind our keyboards displaying our superiority. But something was wrong with this. And I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to guess. By this point you're wondering, how can they screw up something this simple? Look no further than this, or otherwise go buy one of the Marvel Legends figures nobody wants, and it's crystal clear example of why they hated by Marvel Legends collectors. And you also wonder how this came out before it was sent to Walgreens, because fuck Walgreens, and I don't know what the fuck a Walgreens is until someone pointed out it was a chemist's warehouse but with shit collectibles. I guess someone at Hasbro was receiving donations from the medical industry that they're forced to make an exclusive to a chemist.
Oh good, my laundry is done.
Apart from fuck knows what miscellaneous crap that tend to be throwaway items you can get that cheaper at the reject store, or collecting my prescription meds, why in the love of fuck would I be going to a chemist to buy action figures? Jeez, America just seems more scarier than we think it is. And to tell you the truth, I was more so concerned about being probed by scalpers to get this figure. And honestly, I was not in a position to review this. It's essentially a 6-month-old figure and people still consider this to be late for a review? We don't do that here. Well, that depends on how I can acquire these figures without amputating an arm or a leg for one on the secondary market. And for some time later, waiting patiently kicked off, and I was happy to say I managed to snag one for 40 bucks. You would assume a company like Hasbro, who tends to advertise themselves as collector-friendly company, would pay as much attention to details like these, and at first turned many people away. Why are we in the position to do everything ourselves? These aren't model kits, but we shouldn't have to deal with issues like this. It wasn't until several months later, after the late official release, and they were offering free heads to every owner of the figure. US and UK only. Well, I'm effed. Geo-blocked my way out of this, huh? Just like you geo-blocked everything else in the world, and we're basically left with licensing embargoes that they cannot run seamless operations. Until now, sent in the vital information required and waited 2 weeks for it to arrive. I was to say, I was impressed I was able to get something for free with the expense of 40 bucks and having to go towards their shitty customer service, and the first thing to ask on their Q&A is how to get out of jail in Monopoly. So let's get this straight. Stock that was being manufactured in Asian markets sent to Southeast Asian countries before Hasbro can announce anything. Despite managing inventory could be difficult from what I can understand, and is not a high priority property that they're dealing with, so they had to breach contractual agreements with third parties. Also missing paint from the get-go that wasn't addressed for quite some time that managed to be used in the official solicitations, and then rectified by originally geo-blocking the PR stunt to the United States and the United Kingdom only, and making this to an exclusive to a chemist, which makes no goddamn sense at all. Also, exclusive? Seriously? That's pretty much segmenting the market from the rest of the world, where the huge chunk of their sales goes towards. So, does this make this a bad figure? Yes and no, but mostly yes because of how much pain and suffering this figure went through over the past several months. It is clear on Hasbro's part that this was a low priority release, and an ongoing issue surrounding it have put them in hot waters over the lack of care and quality control. White Dino Thunder Ranger was a character I couldn't care less about, not because I hate him, but it seems so forgettable for me only because he gets overshadowed by more overrated characters, like the one with the green dragon spandex, or the one with the star on his head, or the one that looks nothing like an astronaut but something from some simplified game sprite from a PC Engine game. Calling this a good figure is more of an understatement. It falls into most of the traps that they make the Lightning Collection look like an absolute joke. The lack of any neck that pretty much passes by many people because it has a shield. Only one weapon and no variables to change any modes, little to no accessories, and being stamped as an exclusive to exclude at least 50% of the global market. Given what I just said about this figure, I cannot deny it looks nice, and sure as hell it's fun to pose, and I got some good photos out of this. And at the end of the day, it just ends up being empty to me. It doesn't satisfy me. It just happens to be there and says, oh look, there's a white Dino Thunder Ranger in 1/12 scale. Is it really time for me to move on from this? No, because I'm gonna keep making reviews no matter what, and even then, I can't help how we ended up getting here and not question a single thing that happened. And how most people operate is like being a giant magnifying glass that can only assess the smallest issues, while ignoring the larger issues like why this was a Walgreens exclusive, and why Hasbro's probably most likely accepting donations from the medical industry. Assuming the last part sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's very believable when you think about it more.
脳天直撃セガサターン
大怪獣ゴジラセガサターンに上陸直ちに迎撃せよゴジラ列島進艦
Sega